Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to our latest video. This is about making fresh limoncello, and I'll be doing this in the company of my niece Alessandra, who is courteously helping me today in making this video. Alright, so what you'll need are fresh lemons, and not too small, not too large, and you need to make sure that they're, of course, well washed. You'll also need a potato peeler, so this is essential to create the strips that are necessary for our next step. So as you can see, you need to make sure that in peeling off the rind that you take care of peeling it off, but in a way that leaves the white on the fruit and the yellow only on the rind, so on what you're peeling off. All right, so we'll proceed like so. Now just a reminder, make sure they are well washed, so you have to make sure that you scrub them well before doing this. And also make sure that you have lemons that are slightly greenish if possible, so not completely yellow. So this is a little trick to obtain a good one, if possible, of course. Okay, so we are in luck here. We have the greener lemons, so they're not completely ripe at the moment. So we're going to be using 500 ml of alcohol for today's production, and just showing you once again how the rind is taken off. The white of the fruit is much more bitter, so that's why we're taking care in leaving it on the fruit, as you can see. And we're proceeding with the rest. Just make sure you get enough of the rind that is possible. And we're going to be needing, I think it's 40 ml of product for 100 ml of alcohol. And we'll just be confirming this in a moment so that you can take that down as a note if you need to. So let's just finish off what we're doing here. So just a recap, remember that they're well scrubbed. Remember to have greenish lemons if possible, so not lemons that are aged or old. And make sure also that they're fresh in the sense that you need to be buying organic lemons if you're not lucky enough to be in an area where lemons are growing on trees, of course. Why do they need to be organic? Because it is proven that chemicals used to protect lemons against insects and parasites and so on and so forth, actually these chemicals, the chemical residue penetrates the fruit. So the thinner the peel or the thinner the rind, the more the chemical residue will penetrate into the fruit. So that's why you want to make sure you're buying organic at least, and if possible at all, when you're making limoncello. After all, it is something that you'll be drinking, so you want to make sure that it is as natural as possible. Okay, so we're almost finished with the peeling. We almost have enough of what we need. You're going to be placing this all in a bowl, and so we're going to be moving on to the next step in just a few seconds. So here we are. We have the rinds that are finished, that have been put together. We're going to be needing, as I was saying before, 40 grams of the rinds for every 100 ml of alcohol. And you will be needing alcohol, pure alcohol, that is at 95 degrees. So not 96, which would be a little bit too much, but 95. And you're going to take care in submerging the rinds in a container, possibly a glass container like the one that we have here, and to, just pay attention to submerging everything in this container. A nice container like we're showing you right here is perfect. It is the essential oils in the rinds that will give you the aroma, the scent that you are looking for in limoncello. So there's a period of rest that it is going to need, and that is going to be a period of 3 days. And before you do that, or in order to get to that point, you need to be covering the container. So I said before, it's a glass container, what we're using right here. So if you have an opaque, something that you do not see through container, maybe even better. But I would suggest maybe having like an airtight cover to place onto your container. So this is done. We have placed some aluminum foil around it, as you can see, and we'll have it rest now for 3 days. Now, there are people that have it rest for weeks, but it has been proven that the activity that is necessary to extract what we need, meaning the essential oils, is 3 days. It does not really take more than 3 days. Anything over than 3 days is totally unnecessary. All right, so after 3 days, if you did open the container, you will see that the rinds have whitened out. They have this bleached sort of look, and so they performed what they had to perform. So you will also need water and sugar to create the syrup, the classic syrup, sugar syrup that we're going to produce in just a few minutes. And so the quantity will be for 500 ml of alcohol, you'll need 500 ml of water, a little bit more. Some people might add, if you want it a little bit more dissolved or watery. And you're going to be using 400 grams of sugar. All right, so 500 and 500 and 400 grams of sugar. So back in the kitchen now, 3 days have passed, so we're fast forwarding and showing you what the next step is. So this is what you will have achieved after 3 days. This is the result. As you can see, the liquid has absorbed all the nutrients and the essential oils that it needed to. Let's take a look inside. And we're showing you here how the brightness, the color that was on the rinds has completely seeped into the alcohol now. And we're going to proceed with the creation of the classic syrup that is needed. So 400 grams of sugar for the 500 ml of water is the way to go to produce the classic syrup. Here we are. So we move on to the stovetop. So let's proceed. You're going to put in a little pot the water and insert the sugar, and just stir it on the flame until the sugar completely dissolves. Now, you do not need to bring this to a boil. All that is needed is that you have the sugar dissolve, so that is all. And then you can pour it into the rinds, like that. So we will have taken out the alcohol before, as you can see. And we're just doing this, we're kind of rinsing the rinds with that, with the water that we had, with the syrup that we had produced on the stovetop. So we're doing this, it's a way of kind of rinsing out as much as possible, or getting as much as possible from the rinds, and not having anything go to waste if possible, in terms of achieving what we need. The color, as you can see, it's a beautiful color. It's this beautiful yellow. It is slightly opaque, so it's not supposed to be transparent, as you can see, or see-through, as you can see in a commercial limoncello. So an artisanal limoncello usually has this more opaque presence. All right, and here we're just showing you that these are practically useless at this moment. The rinds have done what they needed to do. And now we can mix the two liquids, so the alcohol with the syrup that we had produced earlier. And so it's all done. This is it. It's finished. And you see the color, it's beautiful color. Freshness in a bowl here, eh? Freshness in this vase. Let's take a peek and check it out here. So it is really finished, and all we need to do now is to stir this a bit. Great, fantastic, the job is done, and stir it a bit, as I was saying, and put it into our bottles. So this is practically ready to drink. Remember to store it in a freezer if possible, and please put a like on our video if you've enjoyed what you've seen. Thank you.